How to properly size the position? Well, it depends how much you're willing to lose per trade. And basically you see where you want to enter. You see what would be your invalidation and how much you're willing to lose per trade. Based on the distance between your entry and invalidation, you know how much you can afford to put in a position. I know that some people have some very strict rules, like I'm only willing to take 2% risk per trade, 1%. Sometimes some people have much bigger risk capacities. So that's probably something you need to figure out by yourself. But on the very basics thing, I guess having a defined amount of money you're willing to lose, something that's not going to impact you badly, and try to stick to that. What I'm saying right now is probably extremely basics for anyone that's trading the market for some time, but you would be surprised the amount of people who enter a setup and then look for their invalidation. I actually think a vast majority of people are doing that, which can be rewarding, forgivable conditions like we've had lately, but can be absolutely devastating if you're trading a much less favorable market. That's the very basics thing I can tell you. And I genuinely think that if you start doing that very basic thing, you're probably gonna be less bullied by the market. What is for you in percentage really depends. I used to have some strict rules where I was risking up to 5% per trade, and in conditions I was willing to do so, especially when I had a much smaller portfolio, and it can be much more than that. Again, that's the gut feeling part of the system. I'm gonna have periods where I'm risking a lot per trade and others where I'm basically not gonna be impacted whatsoever. When I first entered the Bitcoin swing long, if I was stopped out, I would have lost up to 5% of my trading portfolio, if that gives you an indication. The XRP trade that I entered while we were streaming right now, if I'm getting stopped, I'm losing less than 0.2% of the active trading portfolio. I actually think that with the recent gains on the folio, it's even less than that. Extremely dependent on context, how I'm willing to play out. And that's probably why I'm not gonna be retired anytime soon, but I'm fine with it. What's the max percentage risk of portfolio you add across multiple positions? I've went up to 50%. There are times I could go to up to 50%. It happened in the past. It hasn't happened a lot in a while, I should say, but it used to happen, especially when I had a smaller folio.